Hi, I'm Schallenkamp, and this is my reflection over the informative speech project. The first question you had was, what was the purpose of my speech? The purpose of this speech is to help me learn how to speak and give speeches without giving my opinion, if that makes sense. I really have a hard time not putting my opinion into things when it comes to speeches, so this really helped me to refrain from using my opinion. The second question you had was, how do you feel going into this one? I felt really nervous yet confident because as a member of the Healthy Living Youth Council, I was assigned to suicide awareness, and so I felt very knowledgeable about the subject, which helped me with my confidence. And then the third question was, briefly define speaker ethos, and how did you work to make sure your speaker ethos was high? In my opinion, speaker ethos are characteristics that speakers portray to relate to their audience. I really tried to relate to my audience by giving them stories. Like in my introduction and my conclusion, I used Braden's story, and I used that with the reasoning by analogy. The fourth question was your technology adequately prepared? I feel like it was. I had the 2013 PowerPoint. I have a nice microphone that gives makes my voice sound really clear, so that was really nice. What would I do differently, or done differently, or better? If I was able to stop my PowerPoint and just breathe, because I feel like I get really, really nervous that I'm going to run out of time, and so I feel like I should stop and just take a breath and calm down, because that way when I do that, you guys can understand me better when I don't talk as fast. So that would be better if I could just calm down, stop it and calm myself down to make sure that I realize that I'm going way too fast. That would have made it much easier, but I can't do that because if I stop, I would have to start the whole presentation over. The fifth question is, what principle did you keep in mind when creating and designing your PowerPoint presentation? Give 1 to 2 tips for effectively using PowerPoint. After watching the video you provided on your website, I now try to stay away from busy graphs or pictures, because I've had experience with that as an audience member. You try to, squint and read those tiny little writings that they have on the graph, or it's just too busy. You can't get it all in one, sitting. You have to stare at it for a while, and you can't do that when they're talking so fast, because you want to comprehend what they're saying and relate it to the graph that's on it. I try to use as professional looking of a background as possible. I realize how distracting the backgrounds can be, and they don't pay attention to what's on your slide. They pay attention to the background of your slide, which is not the point. The sixth question is, in terms of structure and organization, for example, introductory, strategy, transitions, or the conclusion, what element felt natural to you and what felt odd? I felt the introduction and the transitions were very easy for me. The words just came really easy, and it was very smooth for me. I had a hard time finding a way to end my speech smoothly, and verbal direction words like first, second, and third I felt really awkward using, but I know it's important to get the flow of the speech. The seventh question was, how do you consider your audience when developing your speech? I tried to be as professional as possible, considering this is a class speech and it's for a teacher. And I used words I probably wouldn't use if I was giving a speech about suicide prevention to middle schoolers. And I used not as strong of words, if that makes sense. I wouldn't have been as into detail with them. The eighth question was, what do you do in your speech that worked and what didn't work, and what areas can I target to improve? The wording of my transition statements work really well because they flow right into my next topic. It's really easy to get into my next step when it comes to first, second, and third. I felt really awkward when I had to give oral citations, but I know the importance of it, so I don't do so it's not considered plagiarism. I need to rehearse them. When I rehearse them, I speak really fast, so I need to learn to slow down and not talk as fast, like I said before, and then connect what I learned from the readings to what I did in my speech. I really gained a lot from referring to chapter 16. On page 121, it gives tips about what color scheme to use, and that was really helpful when choosing that, because I usually don't pick too flashy of a one, but that was very, very helpful. I used purple due to the advice they gave me there. So thank you.